Welcome back. Road to Recovery number 2. Today we're going to be going over supplements. As many of you know from the last video, about a year and 4 months ago, I suffered a heart condition called myocarditis. I have been on the path to recovery since. Today, I want to share with you some supplements that I found beneficial that aided my recovery. To be honest, prior to my heart condition, I really did not believe in supplements. I really thought they were snake oil. I did think that if you were found deficient through blood work, that they could be beneficial, but if you were just an average Joe, just going to the supplement store and buying supplements, I did not find those to be beneficial at all. My thoughts on these have changed a little bit since I have contracted the heart condition, and I wanted to share my opinions on a couple that I do find beneficial. My quick disclaimer, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is simply just my opinions on some supplements that I found beneficial personally. If you do want to try any of these things, please talk to your physician first. Alright, so let's dive into the first one. The first one today that I want to share with you, melatonin. The reason I want to share this with you, a lot of you are already thinking, yeah, I've taken melatonin before. Yeah, it maybe help me sleep, but what benefits could it really have in heart problems? Well, it can help with lowering your blood pressure, actually. Not only is a good night's sleep very important, but it has effects on your blood pressure, your cortisol levels. It has effects on your anxiety, depression. There's a lot of things that play into raising your blood pressure, and melatonin is actually a great tool to lower your blood pressure. It also has been shown to prevent muscle wasting, which is actually very important because your heart, obviously is a muscle, and you want to give it ample time to recover in your sleep. So, the more sleep you can get, the better. My second one that I want to share with you is flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil is great for lowering your blood pressure. I find it very beneficial. It lowered my blood pressure about 5 points. Doctors like to discredit vitamins lowering your blood pressure just due to the fact that they can be inconsistent and it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. That's why they prefer for you to actually be on true medications like metoprolol and other blood pressure medications like lisinopril, because they need you to be on something that is for sure going to get you a desired result. These not necessarily going to get you a desired result. What I would also like to add with this, though, is obviously this is not going to work if you're smashing Big Macs all day. If you're smashing Big Macs and your blood pressure's all over the place, this probably isn't going to make a difference for you. But if you're on a healthy diet and then you want to implement this on top of it, and you're already in striking range of a healthy blood pressure, say you're at 130, 125, and you're just trying to get down to 120, this could most likely do it for you without, drastic diet changes. And, but if you're already eating Big Macs and you want to throw this in there thinking that you're going to go from 160 over 90 to 120 over 60, this ain't it. The next one that I want to share with you is a probiotic. Now, a probiotic by itself isn't going to fix your issues if you have things like IBS or terrible gut issues that, obviously need checked out. But these will help you if you're on some medications, for example, like anti-inflammatories, metoprolol, things like that. It's not going to cure constipation or nothing like that, but it just can make it a little easier on your stomach. At least for me, it seemed to work out. I had to take a lot of anti-inflammatories at the start of my heart condition, obviously to get rid of the inflammation that was in my heart, and that kind of backed me up, and I found this to be beneficial. I was getting to a point where I was so backed up that my stomach started cramping and having some sharp pains, and this pretty much smoothed it over for me. I wouldn't say that it's the cure for everything. There was times where it got to the point where I did need to use an over-the-counter laxative at times, but for the most part, this did prevent a lot of issues. So I did find a probiotic to be very beneficial in my recovery process, and I don't feel like people emphasize gut health enough. The next one that I found beneficial was turmeric. The reason that I started using this was because after my heart condition, I noticed a lot of my joints hurt, and I never really got a true answer from the cardiologist on why that may be. But I had a lot of joint pain, and honestly, I felt like this minimized a lot of it. It was getting to the point where it would hurt so bad I couldn't, lift weights no more. My knees felt like they were, like I was double my age, like I was 40 to 60 years old, and there's no reason for that. So I thought that this was a great answer to fixing a lot of my joint health. And honestly, I can't go without it anymore. It really does a great job. Now, if you're a healthy individual and, you know, you maybe have a little joint issue that's, maybe you messed it up when you were younger, running and track or whatever, and you have like an acute injury, this ain't going to fix that. But if you have joint issues from maybe, something similar to what I had, maybe it's another problem, this very well could help you. It's worth a shot at least. Um, but I did find this beneficial for at least my recovery. The next one I want to talk about today is iron. So why I found iron important, especially with a heart condition, is iron helps carry oxygen from the red blood cells from your lungs to other cells in your body. And this is very important with a heart condition because my heart condition isn't necessarily from low iron levels, but I found this did help me breathe a little easier just because my body was getting the proper amount of oxygen. I wasn't getting fatigued. I wasn't overexerting myself. So I did find this very beneficial on keeping my oxygen levels, especially my oxygen levels in my blood, a little higher. So iron did play a role, even though my condition wasn't caused from low iron levels. Um, so, if you do have low iron levels, it can cause what they call anemia, which is chest pain, which I do get chest pain quite frequently, but mine is due to inflammation, not from low iron levels. But I did find this beneficial to, keep my blood rich of oxygen, and it made stuff easier to do, like walking on the treadmill. There was times where I used to get tired after walking for only 10 minutes, and then, after taking this for quite some time, it started to improve. I could get to 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45. It did drastically make quite a difference, and I do find this to be a very beneficial tool. Now, I wouldn't go over supplementing on this either, because you do get iron in your diet as well. There is such thing as overdoing it, and it can cause a problem as well. So you got to kind of monitor your situation. I'm grateful that I can get blood work pretty frequently, especially since I have a heart problem. My primary care doctor will get me in there right away whenever I want it. So I can kind of keep an eye on my levels and see when I need it and when I don't. Not everybody has that luxury, so don't just throw it in there just to throw it in there. Definitely be smart about it, but it is beneficial if you do need it. The next one I want to share with you, the classic fish oil. So everybody's heard that this is good for your heart. It's pretty common knowledge. The reason why, it lowers the blood pressure, it can lower chances of blood clotting, and it also lowers your triglycerides. So obviously, a lot of people already know why this one is beneficial. This is just to help keep your heart functioning and running smooth, and obviously taking some stress off the heart with the blood pressure reduction, which can be seen through a lot of the vitamins that I'm showing you today, is obviously a very key part on letting your heart recover, because you do not want it overworking. You do not want it to be under a lot of pressure, and you want it to be taking its time to recover and not being overworked and being able to re-inflame itself from working too hard. The next one I want to share with you today is calcium. So calcium helps with the electronic signals of your heart. So this helps your heart basically contract. It's also good for your bones, which a lot of us already kind of know that. Um, but what a lot of people don't know is, and it also has it in at D3, calcium allows you to absorb more D3. I also do take D3, about 10,000 IUs a day. Unfortunately, I do not have a bottle right now. I finished it a couple days ago. But yes, it allows you to absorb more D3. And living here in Washington, everybody knows that we are missing vitamin D for sure. It rains 9, 10 months out of the year. So supplementing that is key, and I believe adding calcium with that in order to absorb more vitamin D3, and then not only that, help your heart contract are very key components to why I think that one is beneficial. I don't really notice stuff right off, directly from it, but, I hope that the mechanisms of action are helping me on that one. And then the vitamin D3, taking 10,000 IUs, I did notice a little help in energy and weight reduction. It does have a little bit of weight reduction properties, um, but nothing super significant. You're not going to lose 20 pounds on it. No, you might lose 2 to 5 if you're lucky. And, how much can you contribute to that? Not fully sure, but I do find it beneficial for at least the energy purposes of getting vitamin D3 in you. The next one I want to share with you is garlic. So a lot of people think this is the magical supplement or vitamin, because they claim it can cure a lot of things. Well, not necessarily cure, but help. Um, Anything from cancer, heart issues, diabetes, preventing illnesses. Um, I don't necessarily get it for those purposes. I mostly just get it for the blood pressure lowering effect. As you can tell, a lot of the vitamins I get are for lowering blood pressure. I feel that blood pressure is a big problem in America, and taking a couple of these that help lower the blood pressure, might get it down 5, 10 points. It is pretty beneficial to try to mitigate having high blood pressure, because high blood pressure in the long term can remodel your heart. That is the leading cause of heart failure and congestive heart failure. You don't want to get blood clots, obviously. So preventing high blood pressure is key, and then obviously you're already having a heart issue. Keeping the blood pressure down is my key goal for this. The next one I want to share with you is taurine. So taurine is supposed to help with oxidative stress. So basically when you push your body to the point that you've basically deprived it of oxygen, and this is supposed to help with that. It's supposed to help with nerves. It's supposed to help with preventing heart failure from getting worse. The main reason I take it is the blood pressure lowering effect, which is going to be the common theme here. Taurine can also be found in eggs and a lot of other daily things that you can take in, daily foods. So taurine, if you eat eggs in the morning, you are getting it there. You can see it in Monster energy drinks now, have taurine in them, because they're probably poisoning you, so they did you a little favor by throwing this in there. But I do find this beneficial, and it also helps us sleep a little bit. I think it's because it calms the nervous system down, so it allows you to have a better night's rest. The next one that I'd like to share is GABA. So GABA, you usually take this before you go to bed. It's for anxiety, stress. It can lower your blood pressure as well. It also has some anti-inflammatory properties. But this is mostly for mood, and this does help with, obviously, anxiety quite a bit. And then some say it helps with ADHD a little bit. I do have ADHD, and I wouldn't say it really does. But some people that maybe don't have it as bad as me, they might benefit. But I do feel like GABA works pretty well. It does help me sleep. I combine it with the melatonin, so it puts me out pretty good. What I did notice, though, is it does sometimes, I feel a little numb on this, which is kind of weird. But it's not the worst thing in the world, because I tend to walk around with more anxiety than anything, so it's kind of nice to minimize that because it sucks being stressed out all the time. And unfortunately, a lot of my stress is just from my heart issues. And, you know, unfortunately, when it, has a sharp pain, you're like, oh goodness, am I going to die right now? Is this the end? Is this about where it's going to quit? So it's kind of nice when you just don't care as much. The next one I want to share with you is ashwagandha. So this became big in the bodybuilding scene a little bit as of late. Um, a lot of people claim that it makes them emotionless. I haven't necessarily noticed that with this one so much, um, but I don't take a crazy amount like a lot of those bodybuilders do. It is good for lowering blood pressure, stress reliever, lowers your cortisone levels. Um, it also supports muscle growth and strength. Also, not needed for me, but sexual function and fertility are also known things. But I mostly obviously use it for the heart benefits and then a little bit for the strength benefits too. Just because, the heart condition obviously makes me a little weaker, and I have some weakness through my extremities at times. So even if you have 1 or 2% extra strength, it does make quite a difference when you're fatigued and tired and not wanting to do stuff anymore. So yes, I have found a benefit with this. It gives you a little motivation in the gym for some reason. It's not like a pre-workout or nothing where you have like energy or nothing, but like you start lifting, you feel kind of strong that day, so it kind of pumps you up. You're like, wow, I feel pretty good. A little muscle endurance comes with it as well, I noticed. Um, but yeah, I find that one to be actually pretty beneficial. And the last one on my list, and I deem the most important, CoQ10. This is only 100 milligrams. I take 3 of these a day. This is very commonly used in heart failure patients. It's obviously not the cure to heart failure. If it was, we would have cured heart failure. But it can give you longevity with heart failure. It sends signals, I believe, to give the heart energy. Might be misquoting on that one a little bit. It does say that there is some slight blood pressure lowering effects on this one as well. I read a study once that there is a vitamin out there that is CoQ10's. It breaks down in your body and it's one step lower, or one step further in the breakdown process. But you can still get it from CoQ10, what they're showing. It's just one step above. Um, but what it showed was they took massive amounts of it, and they were able to get off the heart transplant list and reverse a good majority of the heart failure. And that is saying a lot for just being a vitamin that you can buy over the counter. A lot of the medications that you get from, the pharmacy can't even do that for you. So I do think there is a lot of benefit from using this with heart problems, without heart problems. I think it builds a stronger heart for you. And I think this one is going to be the most important one out of all these. A lot of them do have blood pressure lowering effects that I, obviously am seeking out of these. And they do work, but this is the one that helps your heart actually repair itself. And this one is the moneymaker right here. But yes, that is all my vitamins. Like I said earlier, I don't have the D3 bottle. There's a couple others that I get from time to time. Milk Thistle is one of them. It's for kidneys or liver. Sometimes I get that one. I could be wrong on that, what it's used for, but and a couple others. But I don't get them super often, so I don't really deem those to be as important as the ones that I just laid out here now. But yeah, that concludes my supplement list. I think next week I'm going to go over my diet. It's going to be a little bit of a mix of bro science because I did do bodybuilding for a while. mixed with some health and longevity kind of mindset of, kind of mixing some diets together, because I definitely believe in a low calorie diet model, but then I also implement some heart stuff with it as well. So it will all kind of get you to either an end goal of just being in shape, or an end goal of lowering your blood pressure and having heart healthy, or both at the same time. But I will dive into that more on next week's video. If you liked the video today, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Um, Trying to get a little bit better at doing this. Still is fairly new to me, but I think we're making strides in the right direction, and hopefully these get less boring as they go. All right, see everybody next week.